The ship landed on dusty red ground, sending clouds of dry soil into the air. The colony gates groaned open, and people gathered near the landing zone. News had spread fast. A new arrival was coming. But this wasn't just any visitor. It was her. Kara stepped out of the transport alone. Her eyes scanned the faces in the crowd, but no one smiled. Their expressions were cold, full of suspicion. She wore the same gray uniform as the rest of them, but her skin had a soft silver glow in the sunlight. Her eyes were brighter than any human's, deep green with thin black rings. Her hair was smooth and dark, almost metallic in how it reflected the light. She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. This wasn't the first time she had faced stares. She had hoped things would be different here. Earth Command had sent her to this outer colony, Nova Station 9, as part of an experiment to improve relations between humans and one gene-mixed species like her. But the crowd didn't see her as a step toward peace. They saw her as a mistake. She doesn't belong here, a woman near the front said loudly. She's not one of us, another voice added. Then more voices joined in. We don't want her. Send her back. She's a danger. Or stopped walking. The words hit her like cold wind. For a moment, she thought about turning back. But the ship behind her had already lifted off. There was no way home now. She was alone. Colonel Darnell, the base commander, stepped forward. His face was stern, weathered by years of desert storms. He raised a hand, and the shouting calmed a little. This is Kara, he said flatly. She's been assigned here by Earth Command. Whether we like it or not, she's staying for now. The crowd muttered, but no one challenged the colonel. You will follow base rules, he told Kara without warmth. No special treatment, no special problems. Understood? Yes, sir. Kara said quietly. He pointed toward the far side. Of the colony, Barracks D, you'll sleep there. You'll report for cleanup duty tomorrow morning. Kara nodded and walked away, her boots crunching against the dry gravel. No one followed her. No one offered help. The sun above burned down. But the coldness in people's eyes was worse. Among the crowd stood a young soldier named Liam. He didn't shout. He didn't cheer. He just watched. His hand rested on his tool belt, but his mind was far away. He had never seen anyone like Kara before. He had heard the stories gene-mixed people were unstable, dangerous, unpredictable. But what he saw in Kara's face wasn't danger. It was strength. It's not the kind shown in muscles or weapons, but something deeper. She had stood alone, surrounded by hate. Didn't break. That kind of strength was rare. Later that night, Liam passed by Barracks D on his way to the water station. It was the old part of the colony, full of creaking walls and rusted pipes. He noticed a dim light coming from one of the rooms. Through the narrow window, he saw Kara sitting on a metal bed. Staring at the floor, he almost walked on. Almost, but something made him stop. He knocked on the open frame. Kara looked up quickly, tense at first. Then her eyes softened, just slightly. When she saw it was only him, I'm Liam, he said simply. She nodded. I saw what happened earlier, he continued. It wasn't right. Kara didn't reply. I just ... Wanted to say that, Liam added. You didn't deserve that. Thank you, she said after a pause. Her voice was soft but steady. He looked around the room. It was bare just. A bed, a locker, and a cracked mirror. Not exactly welcoming, he said, trying a small smile. Kara almost smiled back. It's fine. I've had worse. Liam leaned on the doorframe. What do they mean? That you're different? Kara hesitated. Most people ask that with fear. Liam didn't. My mother was human. My father was from a peaceful alien species, called the Viral. I was born from a science program to bridge the gap between species, but most humans don't think I belong anywhere. Liam listened carefully. But you're still part human. I am. But that doesn't matter to most of them. They only see what makes me different. Well, Liam said, I saw something else. Today, Kara raised an eyebrow. What? You didn't run? You didn't yell back. You stood still, even when everyone was against you. That takes guts. Kara looked down, a little unsure how to respond. I'll see you around, Liam, said, stepping back. If you need anything, just ask. Thanks, Liam, Kara said quietly, It means more than you think. As Liam walked back to his bunk, he thought about her words. Maybe she really was different. But maybe that was a good thing. Back in Barracks D, Kara looked out the window at the stars. For the first time since she arrived, she felt a small flicker of hope. Someone had seen her. Not as a threat, not as a mistake, but as someone worth knowing. The sun rose early on Nova Station 9. The desert outside the colony shimmered in waves of heat. Dust blew gently through the empty walkways as soldiers began their daily routines. Kara was already awake. She had cleaned Barracks D before sunrise, scrubbing floors and fixing broken lights. No one thanked her. No one even looked at her. Still, she worked in silence. Her hands quick and steady, Liam noticed he had been assigned guard duty near the outer fence that morning. From his post, he could see the edge of Barracks D. Kara moved with quiet skill, efficient, focused, never complaining. Most new recruits would have broken down after the first day, but not her. Liam leaned on his rail, watching her carry a broken crate to the recycling station. She was stronger than she looked. Still watching the silver girl, a voice teased. Liam turned. It was Joel, another soldier from his unit. Liam shrugged. Just making sure she's not planning to destroy the colony. Joel laughed. She's weird, man. I don't care if Earth Command sent her. I don't trust her. She hasn't done anything wrong, yet Joel said, walking away. Just wait. Liam looked back toward Kara. She had disappeared inside the main utility hall. He thought about her again. There was something quiet but powerful about her, like a volcano sleeping under ice. Later that day, Liam found himself near the mess hall during break. He walked in, grabbed a tray of food, and looked for a place to sit. Most tables were full. Some soldiers talked loudly, others laughed, but when Kara entered, the room went still. She walked to the serving area, picked up her food, and stood alone, holding her tray. No one offered her a seat. In fact, some people turned their backs. Liam sighed and stood up. He waved her over. Kara, he said, you can sit here. She looked surprised, but nodded. She sat across from him without saying a word. A few heads turned in their direction. Liam didn't care. You've had a rough first day, he said. I've had worse, she replied, repeating what she had said the night before. He smiled. You say that a lot, it's true. Liam took a bite of his food. You're fast. I saw you carry that heavy crate earlier. I trained on a gravity-heavy planet when I was young, she said. Makes movement easier here? Impressive. Kara stirred her soup. People don't usually notice. I do, Liam said. And I don't think you're dangerous. Kara looked up. Her green eyes met his. Then why are you being nice to me? Liam thought for a moment. Because everyone deserves at least one person to believe in them. That evening, Liam found Kara again. It's time near the training yard. Most soldiers were done for the day, but Kara stood in front of a practice dummy, throwing quick punches and kicks. He watched in silence for a while. Her movements were smooth and controlled. She wasn't just strong, she was skilled. You fight well, Liam said, walking closer. She turned, wiping sweat from her forehead. Thanks. Where did you learn? My father's side. The virile train their children early. They believe in teaching control first, power later. Smart idea. Kara looked at him carefully. Why are you really watching me, Liam? He paused, then spoke honestly. Because I don't think... The others are right about you. And because... I'm curious. Curious? You're not like anyone I've met before. You look different, move different, think different, but none of that is bad. I want to understand it. Kara studied him. Most people are afraid. Of different? I'm not most people. She gave a small smile. No, you're not. Liam stepped forward. Want a sparring partner? Kara raised an eyebrow. You want to train with me? Why not? She nodded, and they took positions on the mat. At first, they moved slowly, testing each other. Kara was quick, but Liam had good instincts. He dodged well and struck carefully. They trained for nearly an hour, learning each other's rhythm. By the end, they were both tired, but smiling. You're not bad, Kara said, breathing hard. You're better, Liam admitted. Laughing from a nearby tower, Colonel Darnell watched the scene below, arms crossed. Behind him, hey. Woman from the science unit stepped forward. She's blending faster than expected, she said. Too fast, the colonel replied. Some people aren't ready to accept her. She might be what this colony needs, sir, or she might tear it apart. Back in Barracks D, Kara sat alone that night, watching the stars again. But this time her thoughts were different. She had a friend now. Liam wasn't like the others. He didn't see her as a threat. He didn't call her names or turn away. He asked questions. He listened. He saw her not as a weapon, not as an alien, but as a person. It wasn't much, but to Kara, it was a start. And starts, she knew, could lead to something bigger, something better. The next few days at Nova Station 9 passed quietly, but the silence felt heavy around Kara. People still avoided her. They moved away when she entered a room. They stopped talking when she walked by. But there was one exception, Liam. Every day he trained with her. He talked to her. He listened. Slowly, something started to change in Kara. For so long, she had kept her heart closed. Now, with Liam beside her, a small door inside her began to open. One afternoon, after training, Liam handed her a bottle of cold water and said, "You're getting faster. You're just getting slower," Kara replied with a small grin. Liam laughed. Maybe I'm just distracted." "By what?" "Trying to figure you out," he said. "You're a mystery." Kara looked down. "People don't usually try to figure me out. They just decide I'm wrong." "Well, they're missing something." Later that day, Liam invited her to the Old Combs Tower, a place few people visited. It was quiet, with a view of the open desert and the stars above. Kara sat on a piece of broken metal, her eyes scanning the horizon. "You come here often?" she asked. "Sometimes, when I need to think." Kara looked up. "About what?" "My brother used to say, the stars remind us how small we are. That's why I come here, to feel small, but also part of something big." Kara didn't speak for a moment. Then she said softly, "I used to watch the stars too, back home. Where's home for you?" She was quiet again. "A station near the Varel border." "I never really fit in there either." Liam looked at her. "So you've always been between two worlds." Era nodded. "Too human for the aliens, too alien for the humans. I think that makes you something new." Kara turned to him. "Is that a good thing?" "It could be," Liam said, "if people gave you a chance." Kara smiled, but it faded quickly. "People don't change that easily." "Some do." As the sun set, warning alarms blared across the colony. A voice echoed over the speakers. "Emergency. Border sensors triggered. Possible movement in Sector 4. Soldiers scrambled. Lights flashed. Weapons were armed." Liam grabbed his gear. Kara stood beside him, ready. "You can't go," said a voice from behind. It was Sergeant Harvin, his eyes locked on Kara. "She's not part of the patrol squad," Harvin barked. "She stays here," Liam argued. "She's not cleared. She stays." Kara stepped back, her fists tight. She hated the feeling of being pushed aside. "Again, I'll stay," she said, voice cold. "Good luck."
Ash.
Liam looked at her one last time, then followed the patrol group. Hours passed. The patrol found nothing in Sector 4, just some heat shifts from the desert wind. False alarm, maybe?
No.
Or maybe something was watching them. When Liam returned, he went straight to Kara's barracks. She was sitting alone again, arms crossed, staring at the floor. "I'm sorry," he said. "You don't have to be," she replied. "I'm used to it, but you shouldn't have to be." Kara looked at him. "Why do you care so much?" Liam sat beside her. "Because I've seen who you really are. And I know you're stronger than they think. Smarter, too." She didn't speak. "Let me train with you more," he said. "Let's show them what you can do, not with words, but actions." Kara thought for a moment. "All right," she said, "but don't go easy on me." Liam smiled. "I wouldn't dare." The next week, their training sessions grew intense. Liam taught her human tactics, formations, weapon systems. Kara showed him Varel hand techniques, movement control, and how to read an opponent's body language. Together, they became faster, sharper. One evening, they faced off in front of a practice drone. The machine attacked fast and hard. Many soldiers couldn't last more than a minute. Kara moved like liquid fire, dodging each strike. Liam worked beside her, keeping pace. Finally, with one perfect spin, Kara knocked the drone down. Colonel Darnell watched from a distance. His eyes narrowed, but he didn't stop them. News spread around the colony. The alien girl trained with Liam. She took down the drone. Maybe she's not as useless as we thought. People didn't cheer, but they didn't mock her. Either it was a small change, but Kara felt it. One night, Liam brought 2 ration bars to Kara's room, celebrating your first win. He said, tossing one to her. Kara caught it and raised an eyebrow. This is your idea of a party? It's the best I can offer. She smiled and took a bite. It was dry and tasteless, but it still made her laugh. I never thought I'd laugh here. She said, you're not alone anymore. No, she said quietly, I'm not. From outside, Joel watched them through the window, its expression unreadable. Inside, Kara looked at the stars again. This time, she didn't feel small. She felt seen, and for the first time in her life, she didn't feel like a mistake. She felt like maybe, just maybe, she was meant to be here. The morning sun burned brightly over Nova Station 9. The colony buzzed with activity as soldiers prepared for the daily routine. But the peace shattered suddenly. Alarms blared, red lights flashed everywhere. Warning. Intruders detected near the outer perimeter, the loudspeaker announced. Soldiers scrambled, grabbing weapons and rushing to their stations. The colony had faced small raids before, but this time it felt different. The alarms were relentless, and panic crept into the faces of even the most experienced fighters. Colonel Darnell stood on the command deck, his voice calm but firm. Prepare for possible attack. All units, report status immediately. Liam was among the first to gear up. His mind raced as he checked his rifle and helmet. Then he looked toward Kara's barracks. She was not on any patrol list, but if there was a fight, she could not be left behind. He hurried toward her room. Kara. He called, pounding on the door. She opened it quickly, eyes sharp. Get your gear. There's an attack coming. Kara grabbed her pack without hesitation. I'm ready. Liam nodded. The sergeant said, You're not on the list. Doesn't mean I won't fight. Together, they ran to the main gate, where soldiers gathered in tight formations. The enemy came fast. Sleek ships from a hostile alien faction called the Krell. Their fighters darted through the sky like angry wasps, firing bright energy bolts that exploded on impact. The colony's defense turrets struggled to keep up. Liam and Kara joined the front line, taking cover behind metal barriers. Kara's sharp eyes spotted a weak point in the Krell formation. Liam, their left wing is exposed, she shouted. He glanced at her, surprised. How do you know, Varel? Battle training? You have to spot the weak spots before they hit. Without waiting, Liam passed the word along the line. Shift left. Focus on their left wing. The soldiers adjusted quickly. The attackers were caught off guard. Kara moved with swift precision, dodging blasts and firing her weapon with deadly accuracy. Liam covered her, impressed by her skill and calm under fire. Suddenly, a blast hit the ground near Kara, throwing dust and debris into the air. She stumbled, but recovered quickly. Liam called out, Are you okay? She nodded, eyes blazing with determination. This is my fight too. Together they pushed forward, taking down several enemy fighters. The battle raged on, loud and chaotic. Then, a Krell ship swooped low, aiming directly at the command center. Liam shouted, Kara! That ship's going for the command post. Without hesitation, Kara sprinted toward the incoming ship's path. Using her speed and agility, she launched a grenade that exploded under the ship's wing, causing it to crash nearby. The soldiers cheered. After what felt like hours, the Krell fighters finally retreated. The colony was bruised but still standing. Colonel Darnell gathered the troops. Today, we faced a serious threat, he said. Many of you fought bravely, He looked directly at Kara, and one of you proved that. Strength comes in many forms, the crowd murmured. Some faces that had been cold before now showed respect. Liam smiled at Kara. See, they're starting to change their minds. Kara smiled back, tired but proud. Maybe. That night, the colony held a small gathering near the central plaza. Fires burned brightly and soldiers shared stories of the battle. Kara sat quietly at the edge, watching the celebration. People still whispered when she passed, but fewer stared with fear. Liam joined her. You did great today, thanks, she said. But it wasn't just me. You saw the weak spot first. Ow. That saved lives. They looked at each other, sharing a moment of understanding. As the fires flickered, Kara thought about her place in the colony. For the first time, she felt she belonged. Not because she was human or alien, but because she had earned respect. Liam leaned close. Tomorrow, we train harder. Kara laughed softly. I'm ready. The day after the Krell attack, the colony was busy with repairs. Walls had holes, towers had scorch marks, drones flew overhead, scanning for damage. People moved with purpose. But their eyes were different now. Some smiled when they saw Kara, some nodded. A few even said, "Good work out there." It wasn't much, but to Kara, it meant everything. She walked beside Liam through the busy walkways. Her back ached from the battle, but she didn't complain. Her body was tired, but her heart was light. They're looking at you differently, Liam said. I noticed. She replied, they're starting to understand. Kara gave a small smile. Not all of them. They passed a group of soldiers. Most stepped aside, but one didn't move. It was Joel. He looked at Kara, arms crossed. You got lucky yesterday, he muttered. Kara didn't answer. Liam stepped forward, but Kara touched his arm. It's fine, she said quietly. Let him speak. Joel frowned. Just don't think one good fight makes you one of us. Kara looked him in the eyes. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm just trying to help. Joel didn't respond. He turned and walked away. Liam looked at Kara. That was brave. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words, she said. Later, Colonel Darnell called a meeting in the command hall. All squad leaders were present, and so was Kara standing at the back. Darnell's voice echoed in the room. The Krell attack was only a scouting party. Intelligence suggests a larger force may come soon. Quiet murmur passed through the room. We need new defense plans, and we need them fast, the colonel continued. One officer raised his hand. What about outside patrols? The eastern ridge is still unmapped. Another added, we can't cover everything with our current numbers. Colonel Darnell paused, then looked toward Kara. I want a small recon team to scan the eastern ridge, he said. Kara will lead it. There was silence. Some people looked confused. A few looked angry, but the colonel didn't change his tone. She has shown discipline, skill, and insight. She earned this. Kara stepped forward slowly. I accept. Liam smiled from his seat. That evening, Kara sat under the old Combs Tower with Liam. You're leading a mission now, he said. I didn't. Expect that you earned it. Kara looked at the desert sky. Do you think they'll ever truly accept me? Liam leaned back. Some already have. Others need time. But you're proving them wrong every day. Kara stayed quiet for a moment, then asked, Why do you believe in me so much? Liam didn't answer right away. Because I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong, he said softly. I've always been a quiet soldier. Others talk loud, show off, never fit in with that. But you remind me that being different doesn't mean being wrong. Kara looked at him, her voice gentle. Thank you, Liam, he smiled. You don't have to thank me if you're doing this on your own. The next day, Kara led a 3-person team toward the eastern ridge. Liam was by her side, along with Mira. A quiet scout who had watched Kara from afar since the last battle. The desert was wide and silent. Orange cliffs rose from the sand, and strong winds blew across the rocks. Kara studied the path carefully, her eyes scanning the ground for signs of movement. Suddenly, she raised a hand. Wait, the team stopped. There's something under the sand. Liam stepped forward. A mine? No, Kara said. Something buried metal. They dug slowly and found a small Krell device. It blinked with a faint red light. A tracker, Kara said. They're marking places. Planning. Something. They sent a message back to the colony. As the sun began to set, the team camped near a rocky hill. Liam lit a small fire, and Mira prepared a basic meal. Kara sat quietly, watching the horizon. You think they'll attack again? Mira asked. Yes, Kara replied. But next time, they'll hit harder. We'll be ready, Liam said. Kara looked at the flames. We have to be. That night, Kara dreamed. She was standing in a room full of humans. They pointed at her, shouting, "You don't belong here." The voices were loud, endless. But then a hand reached out Liam's hand and pulled her away from the crowd. You do belong, he said. She woke up breathing hard. The stars above were calm, and for the first time, she believed it. When the team returned to the colony the next day, they brought the tracker with them. Colonel Darnell examined it. This confirms our fear. The Krell are planning something big. He looked at Kara. Good work. Joel stood nearby, listening.
Nice.
He didn't say anything. But when Kara passed by, he gave her a short nod. It wasn't friendship, but it wasn't hate. It was a start. That evening, Kara stood in the training yard. She held her helmet under her arm, watching others train. She didn't feel like a stranger. Anymore, she felt strong. She felt seen. Liam joined her. You coming to dinner in a minute, she said. I want to stay here a little longer. He smiled. All right, but don't be late, or I'll eat your share. Kara laughed softly. I'd like to see you try. As Liam walked off, Kara looked up at the sky. The stars didn't feel cold tonight. They felt like home. Night fell over Nova Station. 9. The stars blinked above the desert sky like tiny lanterns, but the colony below felt tense and uneasy. Since the Krell tracker had been discovered in the eastern ridge, the atmosphere had changed. Something was coming. Something bigger. Kara could feel it in her bones. She sat alone near the power core station, her eyes scanning a digital map of the terrain. Dots blinked where new patrols had been placed. Defense drones circled high above the ground. The colony was preparing, but would it be enough? Liam walked up with 2 cups of warm ration tea. Still watching the map, Kara nodded. There's something wrong. The Krell don't just mark ground unless they plan to use it, Liam handed her a cup and sat down beside her. You think they're already here? Kara took a sip and looked into the shadows. I think they're inside. Liam's expression changed. Inside the colony? Yes, she said. That tracker wasn't placed out in the open by accident. Someone brought it close on purpose. Maybe someone on the inside. Liam frowned. A spy? Or worse? Kara said quietly. Krell in disguise. The next day, Colonel Darnell called a small private meeting. Kara, Liam, and a few trusted officers were there. There's been another tracker found, Darnell announced. This time near the fuel storage. The room went quiet. That means the Krell already know our weak points, Kara said. We believe someone is helping them, the colonel said. Kara stepped forward. Let me help you find them. Ah! One officer raised an eyebrow. You think you can spot a spy? I was trained to sense behavior changes, Kara replied. The VREL. Don't lie with words. They lie with movement. You can detect it. Colonel Darnell nodded. You'll investigate quietly. Liam, you'll work with her? Lesser, Liam said immediately. That evening, Kara and Liam started watching the colony. They stayed hidden in shadows, blending in with engineers, medics, and patrols. Kara studied body language, nervous hands, stiff shoulders, eyes that shifted too quickly. Hours passed. They followed one man to the drone hangar. It seemed normal until Kara noticed something strange. His footsteps. She whispered, They're too light. No sound. Liam watched closely. It's like someone trying to float. The man reached for a small panel near the drone controls. Kara jumped from behind and grabbed his arm. The man hissed, but his voice wasn't human. His skin shimmered for a second. Then, for a brief moment, they saw the truth. He was Krell. The spy tried to run, but Liam tackled him to the ground. Soldiers rushed in, and within minutes, the Krell agent was restrained. The entire colony buzzed with shock. A Krell inside the base. One soldier whispered. Kara stood beside the captive, breathing hard. They were already preparing the next attack, she said. He was going to shut down the drones. Colonel Darnell arrived, his eyes dark with worry. If this one got in, others may be here too. Kara looked around. We have to sweep every section. We're running out of time for the next 2 days. Kara led the internal search. She and Liam moved room by room, checking logs, scanning patterns. They found 2 more Krell agents, both hiding as engineers. One had even helped repair the outer gate weeks ago. The colony's trust in Kara grew stronger now. Soldiers came to her for advice. Some even trained with her. Joel, the soldier who once hated her, nodded in respect when they passed in the hall. You were right, he admitted one day. You are one of us. Kara didn't smile, but she thanked him. Slowly, the walls were falling, but even as trust grew, danger rose. The sky turned darker than usual. Electrical storms flickered far in the horizon. Old machines gave off strange readings. Something was building not just around the colony, but inside it. One night, while walking through the command center, Kara felt a sharp pain in her head. She staggered, pressing her hand to her temple. Liam rushed to her side. Are you okay? I felt something, she said. Like a signal, a frequency. A signal, not human. Not from this colony. Something is calling to thee. Krell, ... from underground. Liam looked alarmed. Underground? Kara nodded. That's where the true danger is. It's not just an attack from outside. They've planted something deep below us. The next morning, she met with Colonel Darnell. I need access to the old mine tunnels, she said. The colonel frowned. Those haven't been used in years. They're using them now, Kara replied. They're hiding something under our feet. Darnell hesitated, then gave a slow nod. Take who you trust. Find it. Kara, Liam, and a small squad moved into the dark tunnels that stretched beneath Nova Station 9. The air was cold and still. Dust hung in the beams of their lights. They walked for hours. Finally, Kara stopped. Her eyes went wide. There, she whispered, pointing at the stone wall. Using a scanner, Liam checked the surface. There's something behind it, a power source. With careful hands, the team cleared the stones and found a hidden Krell. Device pulsing with red light. It's a beacon, Kara said, calling their fleet. Liam stepped back. How long until they arrive? Kara looked at the energy levels. Maybe 2 days. Maybe less. Back at the colony, alarms sounded. Again, but this time, people didn't panic. They followed orders. They worked together, and they listened to Kara. She was no longer the rejected one. She was a leader. Now, she stood beside Colonel Darnell, facing the digital map. If we can destroy the beacon before the signal completes, she said, we might stop the invasion. And if we fail? The colonel asked. Kara looked at him calmly. Then we fight with everything we have. As the sun set that night, the colony prepared for war. Kara stood on the command tower, the wind blowing through her dark hair. Liam stepped beside her. This started with you walking off that ship alone. Kara nodded. Now I'm not alone. He looked at her. You never were. They stood in silence, watching the storm clouds roll in from the distance. The final battle was coming, but this time, Kara would face it not as an outsider, ... but as a protector of the people who once shouted they didn't want her. The next morning was quiet. Too quiet. Nova Station 9. Usually alive with marching boots and moving machines, stood still under the heavy sky. Clouds gathered like dark curtains over the colony. A storm was near, but not the kind that came with rain. Kara walked through the main yard with Liam and a few soldiers. Everyone was tense. The beacon discovered underground still pulsed, sending signals to the Krell. Engineers were trying to disable it, but progress was slow. We don't have time, Kara said. They could arrive any hour. Liam nodded. We need a backup plan. As they reached the central command tower, Colonel Darnell was already waiting. The beacon's signal is too deep to block completely, he said. We're trying to overload it from inside. Kara studied the screen. That will take too long. Darnell turned to her. If we can't shut it down, we'll destroy the tunnel entrance and bury it. But that could damage the entire power grid, Liam said. We're running out of options. The colonel replied. Kara's eyes narrowed. Something didn't feel right. That evening, she sat near the old Cums Tower, same place where she and Liam had first become friends. Now, everything felt heavier. The sky, the air, even the silence. Liam sat beside her. You've been quiet. I don't like this plan, she said. It feels rushed. And Colonel Darnell, he didn't even ask for a backup. That's not like him? Liam raised an eyebrow. You think he's hiding something? Kara didn't answer at first, and she said slowly, I think someone else might be guiding him. What do you mean? Kara looked around, then lowered her voice. What if one of the Krell agents wasn't captured? What if one is still pretending to be human, giving orders from inside? Liam's face went pale. Then we're following the enemy's plan. That night, Kara couldn't sleep. She slipped out of her barracks and moved quietly toward the command tower. She knew the guards would change shifts soon, the perfect time to slip in unnoticed inside. She crept through the dark halls and reached the secure communication room. What she found there made her blood run cold. Colonel Darnell was standing. In front of a screen, his voice was calm. But the screen was not connected to Earth Command. It was a Krell channel. Kara hid in the shadows, listening. They've followed the signal, Darnell said. They'll be here by dawn. The colony is preparing to destroy the beacon, but I'll delay the order. You'll have time. The voice on the other end spoke in a harsh alien language. Darnell nodded. I'll make sure Kara doesn't interfere. Kara stepped back, heart pounding. The colonel was the last Krell spy. She ran out of the tower, crossed the base, into Liam's room. She shook him awake. Get up! We have a problem! Liam sat up quickly. What is it? It's Colonel Darnell. He's one of them. He's been feeding the Krell information. They'll attack at dawn. Liam blinked in shock. You're sure? I heard him speak to them myself. Liam stood, grabbing his jacket. We have to tell the others. No, Kara said. He'll block us. We need proof. They returned to the command tower quietly. Kara used a small recording device and captured Darnell's voice from the SHL console. This was short, but enough to reveal the truth. By morning, they shared the recording with the high-ranking officers. A heavy silence filled the war room. Joel, now part of the security team, stepped forward. We trusted him. He tricked all of us, Liam said. One officer turned to Kara. What do we do now? Kara looked at the map. We destroy the beacon before the Krell arrive. Right now, Kara led the new strike team herself. They moved fast through the tunnels. The air smelled of dust and fire. The beacon glowed ahead, red and angry. Charges ready? She asked. Ready, said Mira, now one of her most trusted teammates, as they planted the explosives. An alarm blared inside the cave. They know. Someone shouted. Blaster fire lit the tunnels. Darnell had followed them with a small Krell squad. The traitor's face was twisted with rage. You should have stayed silent, Kara, he yelled. No, Kara said firmly. I stood alone once, but not anymore. Liam and Mira fought beside her, covering the team while the charges were armed. The firefight was intense. Energy bolts flying in every direction. Darnell rushed toward Kara with a blade, but she blocked him with her forearm and spun low, knocking him to the ground. You're not one of us, he hissed. Kara leaned close. I never needed to be like you. I just needed to be me. Then she pressed the detonator. The charges exploded, shaking the ground. Rocks fell from above as the beacon shattered into flames. Krell's signal was cut off, just in time. The team rushed out of the tunnels as they collapsed behind them. Dust covered their uniforms, and smoke filled the air, but they had won above ground. The sky was still dark, but no enemy ships appeared. They had stopped the invasion. Later, In the main square, the entire colony gathered. Kara stood beside Liam. As Colonel Darnell's name was removed from the honor wall, his betrayal would never be forgotten, but neither would Kara's courage. Joel stepped up with a small data chip. This holds the beacon's full design. We can use it to track other hidden Krell devices. Because of you, we're safer now. Kara nodded. We all stood together. That's why we won. The crowd began to clap. Slowly at first, then louder, cheers rose around her. The same people who once shouted, "We don't want her now," called her a hero. Kara didn't cry, but she felt something deep in her chest: warmth, pride, peace. Liam leaned over. "You've changed everything." Looked up at the brightening sky. "No," she said softly. "We did."